Welcome to another episode of Fudgy Insights with your hosts, Jen
and Jesse. On today's episode, we're going to talk about introspective selling. Who are you?
What's
Who are you?
introspective?
Who are you?
What?
Introspective. Introspective, we could talk about introspection. It's a psychology term. It's a metaphysical term. It is a business term if you apply it correctly. It really talks about getting within yourself. So introspective is just basically reflecting on you. And in this case, we talk about you as an individual, Jen or Jesse, a collective you, Jen and Jesse, or the you as a brand, so Clado, for instance. Any one of those things can apply.
And one of the things that we wanted to really dive into is when you look into yourself, you're putting a piece of you out as your business. So your business, your brand, is a reflection of you. So one of the things that I always struggled with was the act of selling. I struggle, even to this day, to put myself out there, to feel vulnerable. And as a business owner, and if you're creating something new and you're trying to make a living off of your small business, you are the face of the product. You are the face of your brand. You're everywhere. And for me, one of the hardest things was I don't want to go out there and ask people to buy my product. I think they should just want to buy it and therefore just purchase it. But we're not in the 1700s where your only purveyor of anything might have been the guy who's selling buffalo down the street. So either you want to eat meat or you don't. Unfortunately, we're inundated with different products, different goods, different everything. So for me, I had to look really deep and start peeling away the layers as to what's holding me back. Why am I so hesitant to just go out there and push for a sale when Jesse here is the complete opposite?
It's very odd because when we talk about personalities, I think, and when people meet both of us and those that know both of us, they would think that Jen is the, customer facing individual of the two of us.
Which I don't understand because I'm so awkward and socially.
She's the more social one. You're the more likely one to have, I know you're more gregarious, you're more friendly and all these things, but
it's a farce. That's just, I guess, how people perceive me. Well, I perceive myself as shy, quiet, nervous, hesitant, afraid.
Which I think is about how everybody perceives me. And yet when it comes to our business, it's almost the opposite. I tend to be more customer facing. I tend to be doing more of the outreach, the client facing things, while you tend to do the things behind the scenes. It's not good, bad, or either. It's how have you been introspective about yourself and the process in your business, and how have you applied that to your day-to-day activities?
That's true. I did a lot of soul searching, a lot. And even to this day, we've been in business for a few years now, and I still have to have the little pep talks, the internal conversations with Jen. You believe in this, and so have others believe in it as well. And it's my job to bring them towards the same realm that I see our product. And I don't need to be afraid, ashamed, and as being sometimes a small business owner, there's a perception that, well, you're just a small business, so who cares?
So just talking about the introspective portion of things. So introspection really takes yourself and personalizing it, thinking about it, how are you going to apply that? But there's another side to that. So the other side of that is perspective, really. So how do other people, or perception, exactly, how do other people perceive you, perceive your brand, perceive what you're putting out there?
Absolutely, because you're a reflection of your brand, and your brand is a reflection of you, which I didn't know what that meant. I started reading all these books on marketing, on branding, and trying to understand, well, what do I want the world to see? And we did a lot of names and trying to figure out, okay, when people hear Clado, what do we want them to say? Like, what's the first thing we want to come to mind?
So, Clado, you may ask, what is it?
Clado.
What is it? What is it?
Well, Clado it's literally the two of us.
It's our names put together, our last names put together.
Because we tried Jen and Jesse, and it was just like,
it
would end up being Jess or Jen, so it didn't quite work out too well. So we started putting names together, and before Clado came to existence, we had played around with another name, which we tried out for about a year. We were under Pick a Bonbon, which...
It was kind of based on if you start any kind of intro level marketing books, or if you're just reading some things that everybody's big into CTAs, call to action. So we thought, make it an action. What are these? We have a difficult explanation of explaining a brigadeiro because most people do not know what they are, and everybody has a different perception of it. So the closest thing we had gotten to was a bonbon. So we thought they looked like, chocolate bonbons. So then we thought, okay, what kind of call to action could involve that? And that's how we came up with Pick a Bonbon.
And it was fine. It was fine for where we were at that time. And we went back and forth about rebranding, renaming, because we had started building a following as Pick a Bonbon where we were becoming recognized. But for me, at that time, Pick a Bonbon, it was cutesy. I couldn't be bold with a name such as that. In some ways, I felt it was a bit childish. It was great for a kid's birthday party, but is it great for, say, the Grams or the Grammys? I don't know.
But it's funny because if you talk about taking it from introspective to perception, when we would go to get our permits from Jersey City, we have our friends in the Jersey City office.
Which, tune into the next episode where we'll talk all about permitting and licensing and all that other jazz, But
when we would go in there, every time we'd come in, our friend over there would say, "Oh, Pick a Bonbon!" And when we changed our name, she was like, I like the old name better.
Okay. And it was fine. A lot of people had different opinions. We had other friends that were just like, why did you rebrand, rename? Pick a Bonbon was fine. But I felt Pick a Bonbon, that name was limited.
And it wasn't a reflection of us and who we were trying to be as a brand.
Exactly. And like many things, you evolve. You evolve, you grow, and our brigadeiros, our business grew with us. When we first started dabbling in the idea, it was 6-7 years ago. We were in a very different place in our lives. We were young, we were...
Definitely younger. Less gray hairs.
Oh yeah.
Certainly.
A lot less. Less wrinkles. But at the time, we thought that sufficed. And then we started digging deeper into where do we want our company to be 5 years from now? And we wanted to become a global brand. We wanted to become recognized. And we realized also, Pick a Bonbon, that's kind of a mouthful. Mm-hmm. We want something quick, easy to remember, easy to pronounce, easy to spell. Because you see so many companies out there that make the chocolate truffles and they're blank brigadeiros by. And how do you spell brigadeiros? Let's start there. So that's why we said brigadeiros. Klado.
That's right. Clado. Because you'll never have to remember how to spell brigadeiro. But Clado, that's easy enough to say, and certainly easy enough to remember.
So that's where we decided that we needed a new name. We need a new name. We wanted a fresh look also. And we were fortunate enough to be able to go to Belgium, where we went on a mission to try all of the different chocolatiers and chocolate purveyors and chocolate everything.
Oh yeah.
Because for those who don't know, Belgium is the capital of chocolate.
The best chocolate. And we're in the chocolate business, and I will tell you, Belgium has the best chocolate.
Absolutely. So we tried, we spent, I don't even know how much, on every single chocolate place, because we wanted not only to support them, but we wanted to experience the vibe. We wanted to experience the different personas of the different businesses. And it became very clear where you could see that there are some mom and pop shops that are very traditional, very antiquated. But it's also homesy.
It's respectful of the history. I mean, they have history. They have years and years of chocolate making. They've been doing this for 200 years, something 150 years. So they are very deferential to that history. And then you have others.
Absolutely. So you have the traditionalists, and then you have the ones that are more, we'll say, unique. They're pushing the bounds and the envelopes, that are exploring new flavors, new palettes, new everything. And there was something so exciting. And when we walked into one place in particular, a light bulb went on. And it was just, why are we trying to just fit in? And pick a bonbon, that's what it was. It was just trying to fit into the mainstream chocolatiers. We just wanted to blend in. That our logo was very bland, our colors, everything was just very subdued. Because if that look was selling for some of the big purveyors, well then why change? But at the same time, there was nothing differentiating us. So after that trip, we came back and said, we should forge ahead. We should grow as a company, as individuals, and that's where Claudia was born.
So how did we do it? We took an introspective look in ourselves and said, where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? And how do we want to portray ourselves into the public? And that in turn will lead to a different perception.
Touche. So look deep into you, around you. Look at what you hope to see in the future. And have that define, or at least help define, your brand, your company brand, as well as your brand as yourself.
And that's an important point to touch upon. This does not always have to be just about you having a company, you having a side business, you having a full-fledged business. You could easily apply this to your day-to-day. Who do you want to be as seen by your partner, by your family, by your kids, by your boss, by the people that work for you? You can literally apply this to any number of occasions in your day-to-day life. And we really hope that you take this and think about it, not just in a business sense, but really how in life you can really be a little bit more introspective with yourself and see where you want to go. Because as they often say, practice makes perfect. It's the same thing. You tell yourself you want to go somewhere and you really will get to that place.
Absolutely. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope this will give you a virtual mirror to kind of just look at yourself and say, hey, I'm a badass and I can make anything happen. So just do it. Until next time.
Fudge it
Till you make it.